Yeah, it's the first time outside on the dirt, but we played really well. I don't think we missed a cutoff man in 5 games. We actually did hit a cut and throw a runner out at second. The cut was coming towards home, and we only had a couple errors fielding out of 5 games and played really well. I would say, looking at the past 7 or 8 years, that we're farther ahead right now than any other season.
Any individual performances that stick out to you or that maybe surprised you these first games?
Nothing surprised me because I believe in every one of those. But one cool thing was, we got home from the trip and I started looking at the stats and stuff, and I think our leading hitter down there was our Rachel Burdett in our 7-hole, and our second leading hitter I think was Lena Downey in our 9-hole, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they all had their moments. Ali Cygan hit a grand slam and had 8 or 9 RBIs on the trip, and Sarah Nix went yard, as did Ashley Hill in her first college at bat ever as a freshman, and Melissa Bell did. So it's a lineup that's really spread out. We don't run as well as we have in the past, but we've got a ton of power up and down the lineup, so it's maybe going to be a different team, but it's going to be a fun team to watch.
You mentioned you think you're further ahead than past 7 or 8 years. What is that going to attribute to as far as when you get the conference play? Do you feel like you're
Well, I think it's because we only have one new player in the program, and she's game ready already. That's the Hill girl that I spoke of, but all the other starters were here last year. Even though we lost Trung and we lost Dixon and Bacchus and 2 Fourniers, the people that are jumped in and taken those spots are underclassmen that were here, and they've been in the program, and they're comfortable, and they're ready to play. They've been waiting for their opportunity. Girls like Jen Spencer and Sarah Nix and players like that. So I think that might have a little bit to do with it.
You haven't been around the program for a little while now, obviously. What's the feel compared to last year? Do you feel the same thing that Bill was saying as far as just being ahead and that's sort of comfortable where you guys are at right now?
Yeah, that's a good word for it, comfortable. Even though we have a couple new girls, we still have all those returners, so we kind of know each other. When we're having defense, we know who to go to. Like when we have Rachel Burdett at second and I'm at short, we have good conversation there. Peanuts at third, so we've played with each other there before. So just being used to girls that we've already played with, that's kind of nice. And then the only new one really is Ashley at first, and she's a nice target. She's good defensively there. And then our outfield's solid still, so.
What did you think you were pitching first weekend?
Pitching was solid. We did really well. Jen Spencer got the first start, and we got there the night before, and I threw all 6 pitchers a little bit in practice, just didn't, because we were outside and get the rust off. But Spencer did well, and then Alyssa came in and finished that game and looked really well. Then Laura Moore got the next start and pitched real well. And in Game 3, Peanut was throwing a heck of a game, and she went in head first back into third base, and she split her ring finger open on her pitching hand right here, diving head first into the bag. And she pitched 1 inning after they got the blood stopped and super glued and all that stuff. But I took her out after that inning, and Laura Moore, who's our #1 pitcher, we gave up the lead, but she had a great week down there pitching. And then in the last game, it was a pitcher's duel all the way. It was 2-1. It was 1-1 in the 6th. In that other game we lost, we were ahead up through the 5th. So, we very easily could have come home 5-0, but it just didn't work out for us. But the pitching was pretty solid. I wouldn't say it was outstanding, but they're keeping us in the games, and I would say they were good.
Do you think you go pretty even with Spencer, or as far as starting, what do you think?
Right now they're pushing each other. I could say, Laura Moore was our #1. Peanut's knocking at the door, taking over that role. Doesn't really matter because we play all double headers now. The Northern Sun is 2 games, 2 games, 2 games, 2 games. And Spencer's coming on hard at that #3 spot. But the difference between those 3 players is she's our best third baseman, so Peanut is. And when she pitches, our defense isn't as good as when she's not pitching. So when we have an infield of Conejo at third and Cygan at short, Burdett at second, and Hill at first, we are rock solid. But then when Peanut pitches, it changes everything. You know, Peanut goes to the circle, Brittany Thorson goes to third. And if Melissa Bell's catching, that throws our outfield off, because our outfield is right now is Downey and Grant and Bell, but Bell's going to be our number 2 catcher. So if you take Peanut in a circle and pitch to Bell, you're losing one of your outfielders, and the fourth outfielder is Burdett. So you put Burdett in the outfield and Peanut in the circle, you've changed half your outfield. And we may have to change some things on that process, but right now we really believe in those other girls that would play those spots. Freshman Allie Gallant plays some second base, and so I think the next 8 games in Minnesota are really going to tell a lot of how we can be defensively and count on those other kids, because you know you're always going to have an injury or someone sick or something. You have to have a good bench, and I feel we've got that potential to be 2 deep at every position.
For you or Alyssa, I guess, do you feel like you have a little more flexibility then if you've got those 2 starters? You don't have to take like Jen Dixon out of left field like you did last year. That was kind of spot things up. Do you feel a little more comfortable having the 1-2? You don't necessarily have to rely on Peanut.
I don't feel that comfortable defensively yet. Like last year when we took Dixon and put her in the circle, same with this year putting Peanut in the circle. I feel we lose a little bit because she can, you know, flash the leather. She's got a great arm at third, and she just covers the bunts a little better. Thorson is solid at third. She really is, and she's got a great glove. It's just she's coming off ACL surgery. She sat out last year, and she doesn't get to that bunt quite as quickly. But as far as being a backup, she's a very, very good person to be able to slip in there. It's just that Peanut's fantastic over there, and we do lose a little bit. So it's kind of the same situation as last year, but third base is probably a little bit more important than left field.
For any of you guys, do you feel like 2 years ago is this about the same field then? I think like as far as finishing the top last year, was trying to be top 8 at that point, but I think you had a real chance to finish toward the top of the standings.
Yeah, we've been talking about our goals as a team. We either want to win the tournament or get in the top. You get in the top 8 and win the tournament, or finish number 1. You know, we just want to get to that next level, get into that regional tournament, try get to the super regional, and once you're there, you know, you're knocking on the door to get to the World Series. So we don't care how we get there. We just want the postseason very badly. So let's say you finish 6th in the conference, then you have to go win the tournament basically. But if you finish number 1 or 2 in the conference, you're going to get an invite to the next round. We really don't care how we get there. We'd like to be in the top 2 in the conference, but our conference is loaded. I watched Augustana this weekend, and Winona's loaded again, and Mankato. St. Cloud was down there. I watched them, and it's a great conference, but it's really fun that way. You have tough games every weekend, two during the week, 6 games a week, and you can never take a day off. You never dare throw your number 4 or 5 pitcher. It's just a great conference of softball, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, do you feel like you guys have any strengths this year that you were kind of lacking as a team last year?
I think we're about the same, because last year you could put anyone in and they could kind of step up to the plate, and this year it showed in Vegas, like especially in the first game, we were up by a lot and we threw in some new girls and they stepped up to the plate and they performed out there,